All right. Start. Welcome to Modern Choice Financial Podcast. We normally go live on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. unless we have a specific episode that is off a schedule. We talk about real estate, mortgage, general market update, and also as your mortgage, real estate, and insurance broker, we talk a little bit about insurance. Today's episode is kind of like update on all three industries that we do our services in our office. So we're going to start with mortgage first. Obviously, with everything going on in our market, especially in our macro market of Las Vegas, home prices are continually going up, and it's becoming a little bit less and less affordable for medium incomes. Obviously, government trying to do their best to help people to become a homeowner. Reason why is every homeowner, beside the fact that they pay property tax, and if they're holding the property as investment property, they're paying extra tax. It actually started a couple of years ago when our county sent memorandum to everyone and said, okay, you got to confirm if you're owner occupied in your property or you're utilizing as investment property. If you're holding it as an owner occupied, you actually live there, you pay only 3% tax. And if it's a investment property, you're paying 8% tax. That's just one way of government making some extra income for themselves. And obviously, when you're a homeowner, the whole neighborhood get benefit from it, all the grocery store and everything that has to do with the component of that entire neighborhood or subdivision stays solid with having people in there and paying for all those stuff. Back in the day, if I don't know how long you guys been in US, but I remember back in 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, when market crashed, a lot of houses were empty, or when people abandoned their houses during foreclosure, so nobody were paying state tax for property tax, and that did hurt a lot of state income and county income and affected a lot of cities. Long story short, today we are here to talk about a couple of special programs that can help a lot of people to become homeowner. I would say before it's too late, because especially in our micro market of Las Vegas, property values are going up because it's no longer a secret that Hollywood is about to come here and build a site. Universal Studio is coming here to build a site. We have a couple of new stadium that's getting built in this next 3 to 5 years. They're trying to make Las Vegas a sports capital, and that brings a lot of new employment and a lot of new high-paying individuals that play in those sports teams and holding different title in those companies, and it's just create that supply and demand situation, which I always talk about in every single one of my videos, because I want to create awareness. A lot of people, unfortunately, due to lack of proper knowledge, they're just not looking at it in a correct way. Sometimes they're looking into the price. Oh, prices are too high. I'm waiting for market crash. My uncle said market gonna crash and I'm gonna buy home cheaper. Okay, well, don't hold your breath. They call them sideliners. They always sit on the sideline and just waiting for something. And those are the people that 10 years later, they're still renting. And they're basically paying landlord's mortgage. On the other side, some people are not waiting for price to come down. They're waiting for rate to come down. But in all reality, you would never see both of them together. There's no market ever that you're gonna have a low interest rate and low home price. The moment interest rate goes down, home prices start to raise, because nowadays with lower interest rate, just like back in COVID's time, a lot of people were all of a sudden qualified to buy a home, because previously, due to higher interest rate, they weren't qualified to get a mortgage. And that drives the price up, because now there's extra amount of buyers in the market. So the demand is higher, commodity price goes up. And now that we experience a little bit of a higher interest rate, obviously the home prices start to decrease. And that's pretty much as low as it can go. And Fed just said this year on September and December, they're going to lower the rate. We don't know how much, but even if they lower it half a point at a time, by end of the year, we have 1 whole point or 1% lower interest rate. That helps a lot. But then by then, obviously the home prices are going up. We're going to talk about, sorry about that. We're going to talk about FHA program that is available not only to buy your typical townhouses and single family houses. You can buy up to 4 units with FHA loan, meaning you can only pay 3.5%. The only caveat to that is you have to be using it as owner-occupied property, meaning if you buy a 4-plex, you need to live in one of those units as your personal residence. The other 3 units, you can rent it. This is one of the best way for junior investor to get their feet wet in real estate market, and pretty much just start investing in real estate and using OPM, other people's money, to create wealth. And that's available in our mortgage company. Let me give you a little bit example of the difference between mortgage brokerage versus retail shops. Like you go to Bank of America, you go to Chase, or you go to Freedom Mortgage, or maybe even Rocket Mortgage. The difference is when you go to them, all they can offer you is their program. Matter of fact, I had a case that I got a rate from Rocket Mortgage as a mortgage broker cheaper than a consumer go directly to Rocket Mortgage. And it's a very simple concept. When you go to the company directly, company need to pay their own staff to package the loan, their own loan officer, their own processor, their own underwriter, to process the paperwork and everything. So obviously cost them more, and they're going to build it into their rate so they can get that cost from the consumer, so they can compensate all the people that work on that file. On the brokerage world, we do all the work. We gather the document, we almost underwrite the deal, because we work with underwriters on a daily basis. We know exactly what they're looking for. So we need to package the deal. I almost say your loan officer is like your lawyer, and underwriter is like the judge. If good lawyer knows what the judge is looking for to be convinced, they can package your case in a very convincing manner and put it in front of a judge, and the judge will say, you know what, that makes sense, you know, this looks good, and approve whatever is your debate. Same thing in lending. Good loan officer knows exactly what the underwriter is looking for, and they can package your deal and make it a lot more appealing and a lot more smoother in front of an underwriter of whatever company they're going to put it. In our brokerage, we have almost, I would say, all the biggest companies out there. We can shop around and get the best rate and best program for whatever program that you're looking for, whether you're a savvy investor or you're just a first-time home buyer. This week alone, I have 3 first-time home buyers that they're getting a loan with this company called Click and Close. You might never heard of them. And this is a true example of getting the deal done through the broker. For instance, on the insurance side, same way. We have some companies that they don't advertise themselves as much in TV, right? They're not like your State Farm and Farmers, but they're very, very strong companies. They've been around for over 50, 60, 100 years, like Travelers, like Mercury, like Safeco, which is technically Liberty Mutual. And they got great rating, A-rate company, but a lot of people didn't hear about them because all they know is what they get fed from media and marketing. But they're great. So right now, going back to the scenario, I'm helping 3 first-time home buyers as we talk to get the key to their dream home through down payment assistance program that is basically free money, and they have 2 different types. You can have a forgivable one, and you can have the one that is basically you got to pay. It's kind of like a second loan. If you guys need more information, please reach out. I would love to explain them all to you. But going back to our scenario, you want to buy a 4-unit with FHA loan, there is a program for it. You can own up to about $1.2 million property, and all you have to come up with is just a 3.5% down payment for it. And obviously, you need to be qualified income-wise and credit-wise. If you don't have a credit, or you have bad credit, bad is like anything under 580, consider bad credit. Don't worry about it. We have program even for that. Mortgage brokers are very, very strong when it comes to packaging different type of loans and for different type of clientele and situations. So tip of the day, you want to buy multifamily, 4-plex, triplex, duplex, reach out. We would love to make it happen for you. And if you're holding one of the units as primary residence, you're going to live there basically, you can utilize FHA if you never own a home in last 3 years. Going back to the real estate, there's a lot of noise about NAR settlement. If you guys, some of our audience, they don't know what's NAR, is National Association of Realtors. They just had this little settlement with the unfortunate case that, to me, it's not here to serve public, but unfortunately, some lawyers, they got away with it, and they made a case and they won. That's the great example of great lawyer that can make a great argument and win the case, even though in reality it could have been not a very strong case. Good lawyer can make it a strong. So beside that whole whether if it's good for public or not, let's talk about the root of that. Up until August, to be exact, August 17th of 2024, for the history of United States on residential real estate, seller will always paying commissions on both sides. Seller used to pay the commission for their own agent, seller's agent or a listing agent, and also paying buyer agent's commission. Well, that's no longer mandatory. So that's the key. It doesn't mean sellers are not going to pay commission. Because of whatever legal happened, which if I want to get into it, it's going to be a 2 hours conversation. I'm not going to get into that. You guys can Google it or go to YouTube. There's like hundreds of thousands of video about it or articles about it. But the reality is, legally, sellers and seller's agent cannot put on MLS how much seller is going to pay commission to buyer's agent moving forward. But that doesn't mean buyer's agent cannot ask. That's the key. So if you're going to get legalistic about it and we're going to get like technical about it, they just cannot say it publicly we're paying commission and how much we're paying. That is actually a great thing for strong realtors, as strong agents, because up until just lately, a lot of our colleagues, they used to do things a little bit concerning, I would say. For instance, we have this form called buyer-broker agreement. Buyer-broker agreement been there forever, and it was suggested to have that. Someone like me, that I always do everything by the book because I don't want to be in trouble or violating anything. I always had it done with my buyer, because to me it's kind of a commitment. Even though I don't charge buyer per visit or per hour that I spend for them, I just want to make sure that if I'm spending the time to qualify you, to go through all the consultation with you, go and show you the property, at least I have this commitment that you're only working with me during this time, right? Let's say if it's 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it takes for me to hopefully find the right property for you and also negotiate the right deal for you. So at the end of the day, we can hopefully get the best deal within the market condition for you as a buyer and make sure you're happy with the end goal. Thanks God, all we have, knock on the wood, is only 5 stars so far. I'm very proud of it. And we did a good job for our previous clients and current clients that we're dealing with right now. With that being said aside, the reality is a lot of other agents, they never even build that confidence to even talk about buyer-broker agreement. They never try using it. They thought, oh, if the buyer doesn't want to work with me, they're not going to work with me anyway. If they want to work with me, why should I need that? Well, guess what? Moving forward, it's mandatory. It became law. So why I'm so happy about it as a real estate broker? Because that would definitely, for sure, I can guarantee that it's going to weed out a lot of agents that they were no business to be agent. They were just making market saturated with extra supposedly licensed agent. Because just because someone passed an exam and paid their dues to become a realtor, they're qualified to represent whether seller or buyer. It takes intensive work. Like I would say pretty much this way. If you're not a full-time professional in the industry, I don't know if I can trust you to handle a very big transaction for me, whether I'm selling my home or buying my dream home, because house is one of the biggest investment of a lot of people. And if you don't have a strong negotiator on your side, you're gonna leave a lot of money on the table. Doesn't matter, you wanna sell your home or you wanna buy the home, you just don't have the proper knowledge of how this market works and how you can get the best deal structured. Which now everybody have to, or legally they should have a buyer consultation and make sure buyer understands that if sellers doesn't pay the commission or doesn't pay enough commission, then you're liable for part of it. Let's say in my practice, depends on the case, if they do their loan with me, hint, 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 if we're doing their loan and their real estate, I'll be settling for probably 2% buyer agent commission, because obviously I'm making money from the bank on their loan as well. So that's kind of an incentive for my buyers to work with me, on top of the fact that as a multi-service office, we have the capability to, work around and stuff and make sure buyers are getting the best rate on the mortgage side. And also on the real estate side, we can probably even credit some, like credit for their appraisal. That's normally somewhere in the neighborhood of $600 to $900. That's extra fee that sometimes we pay if we know that the clients are tight in their budget. But with that being said, conclusion is, if you're a buyer in this market moving forward, you have to be prepared to first do your due diligence and interview your agent and see how strong they are in their negotiation tactics, and also understand the fact that sellers are not like before. They don't have to pay commission, but that doesn't mean they don't pay commission. Your agent need to be able to ask, just like Bible says, you don't have because you don't ask. But on the other side, we cannot even show properties, if we can't even talk real estate with buyers anymore without having buyer consultation and buyer broker agreement in place. Meaning, in our buyer broker agreement, it's going to say, Mr. or Mrs. Buyer, me as your agent, if I want to work with you or you want to work with me, you got to understand that I work for, let's say, 3% commission or 2% commission or whatever it might be, because it's negotiable, right? If I say, I'm going to work because I know the type of property that you're looking for, it might be very special, it's harder to find, and it's taking longer time, let's say 2.5%. I'm just saying, for the sake of example. And you agree, because we got to have some sort of agreement. You got to sign that we have this buyer broker agreement. And then we go find the home. You love this home. Oh my God, this is exactly what I want. I have to call the seller's agent and ask how much commission seller willing to pay. They might say, you know what? If you sell it in this coming week, seller is willing to pay 3% commission. Then guess what? You as a buyer, you don't have to pay a dime to me, right? Because I was able to get my commission through my negotiation tactic from the seller. However, if the seller is tied in budget, or is one of those very money-driven type people, they might say, you know what? I only pay 1%. But they have a right to say whatever, right, at this point, because that's unfortunately how the market is going to be moving forward until everything starts to settling and public can appeal the current situation. Previously, it was negotiated between the seller's agent and the seller. Seller says, let's say, for selling this property, I'm willing to pay total of, again, for the sake of the example, let's say 6% or 5% or whatever it was. Let's say 6% commission for total. That was then the discretion of seller's agent to say, I really want to sell this home quick. I'm going to say 4% to buyer's agent and 2% for me. I'm happy as long as I sell this home fast, right? Then on the listing, when the listing agent was putting the MLS together and get it posted on multi-listing service, then it goes feeding to all those third-party companies like Zillow, Redfin, and all the above. We would see as a buyer's agent that how much commission is offered. But right now, as of beginning of August, already taken off. So we don't know. But if you're a strong agent, you know how to talk, you know how to ask, you know how to negotiate, you can possibly, very high chance, get your commission straight from the seller. Seller knows there's no way without any commission. People are not here in charity business, right? There are a lot of people like myself that's all I do: mortgage, real estate, and insurance. I studied a lot. I got I started as an agent. Now I'm a broker on each one of these three industries, and we got to go through a lot of continuing educations to stay aware of our industry. And also on top of that, there's a lot of money to be invested in our business, our marketing budget, our office, our fees, and all this stuff. I'm not doing all of that for free. Obviously, I'm just like any other business, right? I got to make money to stay in business. So with that being said, sellers are already conditioned to pay commission. It's just you have to be able to negotiate it for your buyer nowadays. Otherwise, if the buyer really, really like this property and seller is one of those sellers that, you know what, I don't even want to pay commission. Your buyer want it or not. Then the buyer, based on the contract, have to pay, let's say if the agreement was 2.5% or 2% or 3%. They just gotta be able to prepare for that. But I can tell you, if you have a strong agent, you almost guarantee that agent should know. That's how you know this agent is a right agent for you. That agent should know how to negotiate that with the seller's agent and seller, so they can get their commission from them and you don't have any out of pocket. With that being said, that will conclude our real estate news. Let's go to insurance. I think this is a time for me to do a little teaser for everyone, for whoever's watching. We have TikTok, we have 2 different Instagram in front of me, and we have my Facebook Live. And also, if you guys want to watch the replay, or for some reason you think the voice is not clear, I'm using this mic that is connected to our audio system that goes directly to our YouTube Live. So all our social media and our YouTube, they're all under Realtor Mehrooz. And our podcast is under Modern Choice Financial Podcast Series. So you can go there, and if you're gonna go to YouTube and watch it live there with a way better voice quality, you can go there right now. Same thing, it's live right now. For you guys that don't know me, my name is Mehrooz. I'm a broker in real estate, mortgage, and insurance in the state of Nevada and also California. And that's why I'm here to inform our community about all the different updates. Usually we have a guest talking about different topic, but this last 2 weeks were a little bit hectic for everybody, because everybody trying to adapt to the change and understand what's going on and know what's going on and what to say, how to say, what to do. So it was very hard for me to bring a guest into our podcast, but I thought I'm well qualified to talk about all these 3 industries, because obviously I didn't study for no reason. So I know what's going on. So let me go live and talk about it. And if you guys have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, and I would definitely answer it in our future episode. Just like this couple of questions that we have, and I'm going to answer it right now on the insurance side. Question is, I'm going out of country 2 months, 3 months. I have 4 cars and we're not going to drive it. And our insurance for 4 cars and 3 or 4 drivers are about $600-700 a month. Why should I pay, let's say, $700 a month for 4 cars that are parked in our garage and not being drive? You shouldn't. If you have a good agent and you're also honest, this is the key. If you're honest with your agent and explain what's going on, agents can help you. During the time that you're not driving your car and car is parked in your garage, you can call us. We can drop your coverages down to only comprehensive, meaning your bodily injury and property damage only comes in place when you're driving, right? That's like your liability coverage. When we say this is your liability coverage, that means your bodily injury and property damage if you're at fault hitting somebody in a car accident. The other 2 sections are collision and comprehensive. Collision is the accident of 2 cars. Anything that is not collision or the accident of 2 cars, it's going to fall under comprehensive, meaning they steal your car catch fire, hit and run, stuff like that, or you hit a deer in the middle of a road. Because it's not a car, it falls under your comprehensive coverage. So in this case, if someone going out of country and they're not driving their car, all they need is comprehensive coverage, and it's very, very inexpensive because you're not driving your car. but there's a chance that someone will steal your car, or something happened and car catch fire. Maybe your house catch fire and therefore your car catch fire. Or your car was parked in your driveway and somebody hit and run, and a month later you came back from your vacation and your car is damaged. You can claim it under your comprehensive. But if we drop all your coverages down to your comprehensive, per car you might pay somewhere in the neighborhood of, but depends on the car and depends on your rating in general, but it's very inexpensive, maybe about $30 to $50 a month max per car, versus in some cases you're paying about $200, $300 per car, depends on the car that you have, and also many other rating factors. So that's the solution to that. Here's another one. We get a call. This is interesting. We get a call from a client that, hey, I'm your client. I have my insurance with you. I just sold a car yesterday, but I managed to call the insurance carrier because we're an insurance broker. We have different companies, right? I called this one company and I canceled my insurance on the car that I had up until yesterday. Today, I just bought another car. Can you write me a new policy? Oh my God, seriously? Like, why would you do that? I'm going to explain that. This is a great example for many of you guys that hopefully you understand and learn and hopefully apply it in your future event that might happen. If you're buying other car, but before you buy the other car, you trying to sell your car. In between, you might have 1-2 days, 1 week, maybe in a month of searching for the other car, because you have to sell this car, get the money, and use it as a down payment for the other car. During this time, going back to that comprehensive coverage, you can drop your insurance coverage on a car that, yes, it technically doesn't exist, but the moment you cancel your insurance, now you lost your insurance history. Now you lost all you built, 20 years of insurance history down to trash can. Now you have lapse. Insurance companies, they don't care that, oh, I didn't have the car. I sold the car, therefore I thought I should cancel. So if you get a call from someone, hey, I had a car that I sold and you're my agent, and can you please cancel my insurance? In our agency, everybody's trained on that. The first question we're going to ask is, Mr. or Mrs. Client, are you planning to buy another car in the near future? This is your good agent doing their job the way they should, okay? If they say yes, then we're going to say, okay, how about we do this? Let me explain how it works. We're going to drop your coverage into comprehensive, and you only pay, let's say, $30, $40 a month. But if you buy your next car tomorrow or next week, all we have to do is go back to your existing policy that you had and just swap the car, basically change the old car to the new car. You still have your policy, we just change the car. Basically remove the old car and instead replace it with the new car. So now you have no interruption on your insurance history, no lapse. Therefore, everything going forward is the way it should be. But if the agents don't do their job right, or they're inexperienced, they don't know what to do, or they're not trained properly, or they're not paying attention, or sometimes this happened with just a brand new customer service, and they either not being trained properly, or they don't know what's going on, or they just forget to ask, and client call, or in this particular case, unfortunately, our client didn't even call us. I mean, they tried to be proactive and do their thing on their own, because a lot of insurance companies offer apps and online help and phone call and all that. He canceled his insurance, and then he called me earlier today that I bought a new car. Can you write me a new policy? I'm like, aren't you have a policy with me? Oh yeah, I sold the car yesterday. I just call and cancel that policy. I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Like, Why? Well, I don't know. I thought I should do that. So I just want to make sure you guys don't make the same mistake. And if we are our client's trusted advisor, we should know better. And hopefully you guys are honest with us as client and telling us everything the way it is. Hey, Mr. Agent, I'm buying a new car. I'm going to sell this car, or I did sell this car, but it's not like I'm going to be without car forever. I'm going to buy the next car hopefully in this coming week. Then we do the right thing for you. Just remember, always be honest. Tell us exactly the way it is so we can plan it or structure it better for you to make sure you won't have some tragedy, I would say, in your history. Because having a lapse on your insurance history when you've been having insurance anything more than 2 years, it's almost like a suicidal move in driving history and insurance history. You don't want to do that, believe me, because in the next 3 to 5 years, depends on what career, every time they're going to quote you for a new insurance code, they see that you had a lapse. You're going to be mad and jump up and down. Oh my God, I didn't have a car to have insurance. Doesn't matter. You had no car, no insurance. That means you had no insurance. That's all we care. So with that being said, hopefully that makes sense for you guys that maybe plan to do the same thing. Hopefully that help and prevent what's happening. Other than that, thank you for watching. If you think our materials are helpful or informative enough, please share it with your friends, family, whoever you care for. Follow us on all social medias. It's free. And we take our time to gather all this information to come here, and hopefully we can help our audience and our fans and followers, and hopefully we can build a bigger and bigger community and help as much as we can. Whatever you have question about these 3 industries, mortgage, real estate, and insurance, please drop it in a comment section or DM us if it's in social media, or if it's in YouTube, you can just comment it in our comment section of our video. We would love to hear from you and answer your questions in our future videos. With that being said, thank you very, very much. See you guys in another video. Ciao. All right.